Khabib Nurmagomedov is threatening to quit the UFC. Do you not have waited like a month to do this? Because after the last video I made, don't really want to talk about him. His fans don't like me very much. If you clicked on this video and you love Khabib, can we just try and get off on the better foot than last time? Last time your boy had beaten the fuck out of mine. You know, we got off on the wrong foot. Just, the fight's happened now. You weren't in it, I wasn't in it. We're just fight fans. Can we not just... That's... friends. Yeah, I got absolutely hammered on my last Khabib related video. Obviously just beating McGregor. I was a bit disappointed. 15,000 dislikes. My cameraman just dropped his jaw to the floor. 62,000 likes though, so not all bad. Fight fans are not like any other internet community. So like YouTube drama, do a video on that. Yeah, you'll get a few dislikes. People will say the odd comment. There's not the aggression that you get with fight fans. You could talk about music, football, like even football fans hate each other, but nothing like fight fans. Fight fans are drama queens. I didn't want to get off on the wrong foot, but like the fucking hatred that they hit you with. Alright, I was wrong in what I said in the last video. I didn't say the whole footage that McGregor was involved as well at the end, and I made the fight right after I'd had a hangover and I'd woke up and watched Conor McGregor get beat by... It wasn't the best time, but can we just start from clean slate? Starting from now. So Artem Lobov versus Tukagov, basically Conor's training partner and Khabib's training partner. We're going to fight each other. Khabib's training partner was the one who jumped in the cage and started scrapping with McGregor, and now Dana's suggesting that he's going to be fired. The fight's cancelled. Khabib... yeah, he's not too happy about that. So Khabib basically said on Instagram, why didn't you fire anyone when their team attacked the bus and injured people? No one said anything about insulting my homeland, religion, nation, family. Then you think to punish my team when both teams fought. If you say I started it, I do not agree. I finished what he had started. And if you don't believe that Conor threw the first punch, check the video. He hit my brother first. Khabib then says, if you decide to fire him, then you're gonna lose me too. We never give up on our brothers in Russia, and I will go to the end for my brother. And one more thing, you can keep my money that you're withholding. You're pretty busy with that. Slightly annoyed, clearly. I hope it won't get stuck in your throat. I must admit, right, for someone who I kind of thought was a bit boring before the Conor fight, the last thing I think Khabib is now is boring. I admire the fucking gangster of the kid and the anger of him. I don't agree with all of his actions, but this I kind of admire, because he's throwing his weight around in the right way and he's trying to protect his teammate. Is he right in everything he's saying? Probably not, but you've got to kind of respect someone who's willing to quit when they are due millions of pounds from potential UFC fights just to protect his brother. Now, like I said before, when I first analysed this fight and the post-fight chaos that happened, all the footage wasn't out, and that's my fault for not waiting for it. Maybe I was harsh on Khabib. I definitely was pretty harsh on him. Don't get us wrong, I stand by the fact that Khabib did start it. Everyone keeps saying Conor threw the first punch. No, Khabib jumped fucking feet first into one of Conor's training partners before Conor threw a punch at any other of his training partners. I think Conor knew at the time it was all kicking off, and Conor also lost control. That means that some blame should go to Conor for making it worse, but make no mistake, Khabib fucking started this. And I won't agree with anyone who says any different. If you are going to suggest that Khabib jumping feet first into a crowd and going and fighting his fucking head off, which I kind of respect once again, because the man is a crazy fucking hard bastard, but he started this. He was the first one to jump in and go fucking crazy. Conor made things worse, 100%, and also deserves a bit of blame. And let's be honest, Conor fucking wound Khabib up for long enough to fucking create a lot of this. I'm glad Conor didn't press charges. That would have made things even more sour, and I just don't think it's in the man's character. But when you look back at all of this, it is like a domino effect from Artem Lobov doing an interview about Khabib. Khabib wouldn't just let the words go, had to go up and get in his face and slap him or whatever he did. It was hard to tell, it looked like he slapped him. Then McGregor responds, then Khabib responds after the fight, and it's like one thing after another thing after another thing, and it does just feel like Khabib could just let words go a little bit better than what he does. Because don't get me wrong, I respect his gangster and all of that, and the fact that he's a hard man, and you know, you have to back up what you say about Khabib, but equally, you're a UFC champion now. There are going to be people talking shit about Khabib Nurmagomedov every fucking day. You can't just go and hit everyone who says everything about you now. I hope that Khabib gets a lenient punishment and that Conor gets a lenient punishment, and people understand that this has gotten out of hand, and that they can call it a truce and just say, look, from now on, we keep it in the cage. None of this shit ever happens again. We were both out of order. We were both in the wrong. And I do kind of feel like people will be happy because Conor kind of has gotten what he deserved from, in a lot of people's opinions, that all of the trash talking has finally come back to haunt him because Khabib was so mentally strong, he didn't let him get in his head and he dished it out in the cage. Which begs the question, why did Khabib want to run and fight Dylan Dennis? I still don't get that. That is the one thing I'm still... Yeah, Dylan Dennis is talking shit, but you are the world champion. You proved your fucking point, mate. What more is there to say? I think possibly there are two things. The way Khabib beat McGregor, it wasn't an extremely violent ending where he rearranged his face like he wanted to. Khabib fought a smart fight. He outskilled Conor. He took him down. He wore him down. And yeah, he beat him up on the feet a bit, but it wasn't an absolute destruction that he really craved and thirsted for. And then when you combine that with the mental torment that he'd went through, it just didn't satisfy him. He needed more, and what a bad man he must be, because you've just beaten Conor McGregor and you're still not satisfied with it. Conor clearly got into his head a lot, but just not enough for it to have a negative effect. But Khabib restrained himself towards Conor at the end and just let that go. Then he just goes crazy. I still don't understand it, to be honest with you. I think adrenaline played a part, actually. I do think that the win, I've proved me point, I can take on the fucking world, and all of a sudden he's over the cage. You know, fighters are gonna just fight sometimes, and that's that. And I think I was harsh on Khabib that, you know, these are not basketball players. They're not fucking footballers. These guys punch people for a living, and sometimes, like when you send a fucking, zookeeper in a cage with a lion, sometimes the inevitable happens. That being said, it doesn't excuse it. We've had Mayhem Miller and the Diaz fight. After the fight, we had Paul Daly, but we've never had anything this bad, and I just think that it can't happen again, basically. Slap them on the wrists, let them do a rematch or whatever the fuck, but make sure it doesn't happen again. And I think Khabib has got the UFC by the balls, by the way, because they need Khabib now to make the Conor fight. And they know that that's the money fight to happen now. This is a huge fight. And Khabib will walk. I fully believe the guy. Like, this guy's a man of his fucking word. Dana has got a real decision to make now, because in the past, the only person who's ever challenged the UFC and won is Conor McGregor, because he knew he had them by the balls financially. Khabib has not just got them by the balls for the money fight, but I just think we know the guy's fucking serious. If there's one thing we've learned from this, it's Khabib is a serious man. Interestingly, Khabib's dad, who Khabib clearly listens to a lot, has come out and said he forgives Conor for everything that was said. Although looking at him, I don't know why, I'm not sure I believe him. Maybe the word he had with Vladimir Putin has helped smooth things over. Oh, you didn't see that? Well. Oh, hello Khabib, thanks for coming and thanks for bringing your daddy. Have a seat. I got these chairs from MFI. Lovely. Well done anyway. Seen the fight. Big win. Congrats. Well done to your father as well, obviously. He taught you everything you know by beating the hell out of you as an 8-year-old. Well, it wasn't easy, I'd tell you. Sometimes he would start winning and I'd have to get the beers onto him. Bloody hell. So who does Khabib fight next? Ferguson deserves it. The guy's an absolute animal. His performance against Pettis was fucking fantastic. That is a fight I'd love to finally fucking see. Diaz wants it. Shock there. Anything straight in at the title fight, even though you haven't fought in fucking 3 years or whatever the hell it is, mate. I like the way Diaz fights, but make no mistake, the man is one of the dumbest fighters I've ever seen in the UFC. Like, I'm too real for this sport. Like, you know, you're too dumb for this sport. Because when he beat McGregor, and even after the fight against McGregor, he could have catapulted his name to another level, and he's just wasted that by sitting on his fucking arse. And now he thinks he can just walk straight into a fight. For unreal, McGregor kind of did that, but like, he went and did other things. He's fought Alvarez since then, double champion, fought Mayweather. His name has grown. Diaz done fuck all, mate. What do you think you deserve a title fight for, you fucking idiot? Anyway, enough of that. I'm annoyed because I actually like watching this guy fight, but he just, any excuse to pull out and he's fucking gone. Now that he's had a taste of the big money anyway, he's a different guy. It's going to be McGregor. Why is that? The UFC want to make the fucking money fights. We all know that. And the real question is, will it be any different the second time around? And the answer is yes. Now, before you start calling me a Conor dick rider in the comments, that's because no two fights are ever the same, although some are very fucking similar. So is it going to be different enough to give McGregor a real chance? You see, a lot of people took the opportunity after the Khabib fight to be like, knew he was shit, always thought he was crap. You see, overrated. And it's like, the guy's a quality UFC fighter. Like, you can't take that away from him. He has beaten some of the best fighters in that company. Like, let's cut the shit here. Did he perform to his best of his ability on the night? Fuck no. That was not the best Conor McGregor we have seen by a long shot. His game plan, his attacks were mediocre in that fight. That was an average version of McGregor. Probably the worst McGregor I've ever fucking seen. Even the Diaz 1 fight was much more dynamic and angles, and you know, the accuracy was off in that fight, but there was a lot more. Like, don't get me wrong, he probably showed more heart in the Khabib fight than he did there, but aside from that, like, I didn't think he came at it anywhere near his normal level. And if you disagree with that, you know, you can leave any comment you want, because as far as I'm concerned, I'm well within my rights to say that this was not the 100% McGregor. McGregor fought like a rich man. Yeah, he fought like a man with 2 years off. He fought like a man who didn't really care that much, which was weird, because you can tell he really does. But when he's walking towards Khabib, square on, flat-footed, there's no bouncing in and out and being hard to hit and, you know, luring into the Khabib into the trap that he did to Aldo, and the dynamic, unorthodox movement and the angles and the precision. None of that was there. Do you know what I mean? So we know for a fact Conor McGregor can fight better than he did. And I actually watched a video from Chael Sonnen, and I think Chael sometimes gets his conclusions wrong, but the brain of the man when it comes to MMA is fantastic in my opinion. And he said, like, McGregor did so many of the basics right in the wrestling department to give himself enough time and space to attack. The thing was with McGregor, when the attacks came, his attacks were not as good as what they normally are, and maybe if he can do that next time, we will at least have a far more competitive fight with not a whole 2 years off. And you know, you look back at some UFC fights in the past, Randy Couture, Chuck Liddell, that went one way then went another way. You know, Rockhold versus Bisping actually is a really good example of when Rockhold cleaned Bisping just decisively, found it quite easy, a bit like this fight actually, and then Bisping comes back with a better game plan, looks much better even on short notice, and wins decisively. It can happen. McGregor is seriously going to have to get his shit together though, because I watched John Kavanagh's interview on Joe Rogan, as always, class podcast, but John Kavanagh's probably keeping his cool and not giving away too much, but he must look at that fight and see disappointing version of a fighter that he created and he helped build, and a man who looks miles away from his best, and that should worry the fuck out of him and McGregor, because it impacts their whole image, their whole gym, everything that they've built up. Honestly, I think Conor at his best can beat anyone in that division on his day. So let's see what happens. See if they actually make the fight. You can let us know in the comments below what you lot think. You do tend to talk a lot in the comments. I'm actually really excited about MMA moving forward. You've got the John Jones fight, you've got Daniel Cormier fighting. In boxing, we've got Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder. I'm going to be covering all of that and all the usual stuff I give. So if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.